Well, hello everybody. It's the Eagle here, and it's another time live with me tonight. I haven't got anybody in at the moment. I can't see. It's show up on street. This is an example, yeah. So I'm just going to put welcome everybody. See if we get anybody in. Welcome everyone. Yeah. So it doesn't say we've got any viewers yet. So it's 7:15 at night, and I don't think I've got anybody in at all. Can't see, but it says I am live. So let's go ahead with what I'm going to talk about then. So, oh, hello, Ian. Little red in the face, am I? Oh, it's the weather, Ian. So tonight I am talking with DJI Man Tony because he's had a stomach cancer operation and he's been in hospital with COVID-19. So I want to discuss what his experience was like. So welcome, Tony. How are you?
Well, glad to be here after 4 weeks in hospital. It's been a tough 4 weeks. Still battling, but yeah, we're all right. Oh,
that's good. Whether thought you meant by social distancing, staying at home. There, Ian. So I got to remember how to show. That's it. I show that. So then, Tony, can you tell us a little bit about your stay in hospital the first time with your stomach cancer? Because I believe that you've had about 2/3 of your stomach removed. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yes, indeed it is. They discovered the cancer 2 weeks prior to me going to hospital, but one of the hospitals couldn't take me because of the COVID. And then I was taken into the Freeman's Hospital in Newcastle for an operation. The operation started at 8 a.m. and finished at 5 a.m. They cut down my chest down to the belly button just about, and they worked on a hernia I had. They pinned that back in my body, and then they worked on the esophagus, which goes into your tummy. I think it's the esophagus anyway, goes into your stomach. And at that point where it goes into your stomach, they cut that off, and then they cut 2/3 of the stomach away, including the lymph nodes which were infected. Then they stitched that opening in the stomach together and actually linked in the esophagus again, so I could start eating eventually. I say that took all day to do that, and they put a band-aid down the scar, which was vacuum sealed with a drip which aids the recovery. I can't say I was in any pain over the period of time I was in there, but it was a big operation, and it does tire you out,
Yeah. So how long was you in the hospital for then, tell me?
2 weeks. When I came out the operation, and I don't remember this, but my oxygen levels dropped down to about 2, and it was very touch and go for me. They had to put me on an oxygen machine to regain my oxygen levels, and it was at that point they took blood tests to see the oxygen levels, and that's where they did the test for the COVID-19, and I was diagnosed as positive. So at that point, they put me into a separate room by myself and stuck a big sign on the door, infected, blah, blah, blah. And whenever they came in to see me, it was all rubber gloves and, masks and what have you. And I never had the symptoms of COVID-19, but however, picking it up from an operation caused me to have problems. My blood pressure was up and down. I couldn't stand up properly. and as you know, but in general, I was okay. There was no pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Tony, you said you didn't have any symptoms of COVID-19. So why was you taken into hospital then?
I was taken into hospital because over the last, well, let's say from July last year, I was having heartburn. I was also having, how can I say, I had no energy. So what they did was they gave me some iron tablets, which helped a little bit. But again, halfway through the day, I was out of it. So when they did the iron test on me again, there was no iron in my system. So that worried them. So therefore, they went in with a camera, which is not very nice, and has to be knocked out. And they found 2 black areas in my tummy. So they actually took samples. One was negative and one proved cancerous. And that's why they wanted to take me into hospital to do the operation.
And how long was you in the hospital for, suffering with the effects of COVID-19 then, Tony?
Well, I didn't actually have any effects of COVID-19. When I came out of, let's say, the hospital, I was put onto oxygen machine because my oxygen was so low in my blood. I think the 2 days later, I remember having a temperature, and I had to go on to my CPAP. No, yeah, I got a CPAP machine. I had to go on that to get the breathing because I was having a little bit difficulties on the breathing. But after the day after that, I was fine. My temperature was normal. My BP was normal. My saturation levels were 99%, and they couldn't understand, you know, how I was positive at that time. But apparently it's a 6-week incubation time, which is this week, I think, is the incubation finished for me. And I survived it, probably because my body has got so much to go on repairing-wise, you know.
So Tony, then, how do you feel now then? You know, have you still got any effects after coming out of hospital with it? But before you answer that, can I just say hello to Gail, Was Blind, Foundation Aerials, Ian and John of Drones. Welcome to the live stream, and thanks for joining us. So if you can tell us a bit about how you feel now then, Tony, really.
I still haven't got a lot of energy. The doctors phoned me up, or the surgeons phoned me up the other day and said that the good news is they got rid of all the cancer, and they were putting me on a 6-month review, and they weren't thinking about putting me on chemo. So that is good news. But one of the bad news is that on the scans, they found blood clots on my lungs. So at the minute, I've got to have blood thinning tablets every day. I used to be on injections, but they changed to tablets. And I don't know how long I've got to keep them going, or when I can get retested, see if I've got rid of those blood clots. So, you know, that's, you know, it's another part of my lifestyle.
Welcome, Mel as well, into this. It's only a quick stream, Mel, and all the others in here, because I just wanted to find out how Tony is getting on now, because he did let me know that he'd had the stomach cancer operation, and then he was taken in with. You did prove positive. You tested positive for COVID-19, though, didn't you, Tony?
Because when my oxygen levels went right down to almost zero, and they put me on an oxygen machine, they did the test. It's a standard test now for anybody who goes into hospital for the COVID-19 markers, and I was diagnosed positive. But a lot of people are diagnosed as positive. Along with me was a lady about my age, she couldn't get out of bed. She was on a full oxygen machine and antibiotics, and she couldn't move. A young lad, he was like me. He had no side effects. He doesn't know why he was there, but he was on drugs as well to try and kill this bug. Myself, I'd say the only thing I was having was blood pressure problems, and I'd say the nurses came in all geared up to do me tests and that. But what I was having was the blood tests, or the tests of the BP was A-OK, it was bang on. My oxygen levels were bang on. And, you know, that's why they kicked me home, really, after 2 weeks, you know.
Yeah. So, how are you feeling now then?
Well, after a week of coming out the hospital, I actually had a low blood pressure time. I collapsed in the bath. I got to the bathroom and sat in the bath and ended up in the bath. And then when I got out of the bath, I got into the bedroom and collapsed in the bedroom. So at that point, I was taken to another hospital for the BP. And my BP was really low. And I had to ask them to do a check on my blood pressure, lying down, sitting up, and standing up, because they were only doing it when I was lying down. So when they did that test, there was a massive change in the BP. So they actually said, okay, so we're going to put a pressure bandage on you. It's like a girdle. And we'll just monitor you for a bit. And then you just got to have a walking stick, which I have around the house. And so far, everything's been tickety-boo. I haven't actually had that BP drop anymore, you know. It's just a case now of the blood clots and what have you, you know, which I'm still concerned about. And obviously, COVID-19, which I'm still uncertain if it's got a lifetime, or its lifetime, whether it's 4 to 6 weeks or whether, you know, longer, I don't know. So that's you know, that's the problem I'm up against at the minute.
So when they discharged you from the hospital then, Tony, did you have another test to find out whether you were still showing positive or negative on the COVID-19?
We actually don't have a test for that, would you believe? I said, well, why don't you test me to see if I'm still, you know, active? And they said they didn't do it. Do a retest. And I thought that was stupid, because she says, well, we don't have a test for COVID-19 as of yet. And I said, well, why just can't you take blood now and see if I've got the marker still there? Hey, I'm clear or not, you know. But apparently they haven't got it. So they told me to stay in the house for another 2 weeks when I was at home, which I did, you know. Still no symptoms. That's the thing, you know. I didn't have any symptoms whatsoever, and I still don't. I say the surgeon has said that I've got to stop all my painkillers. I've got to stop all my antacids, because he says we'll cut out the acid producing in your stomach, and he says just go on to your thinner for your blood, for the blood clots. So that's where I am at the minute.
Yeah. Can I just say hello to Steve Crimson Fantasy? Gail's back in, Ian's back in, and we've got Barry's Views also.
Hello.
So if you want to say hello to them all yourself. And
yes,
we've also got Gemma's Janie Grace. Hello, Gemma. Nice to see you in here. Hope you're well and surviving the lockdown.
Actually, there's not a big lockdown now, have you? You got a release now. You can actually go as far as you want for your exercise, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So since you've been out of hospital, then I know you've been tired quite a lot, haven't you? Because I mean, yes. you've been falling asleep early, like myself, because we're getting on. You know, we're both. Yeah. So, have you got any advice to people who are going through, who have COVID-19 that are in hospital, because I mean, you've been in hospital, you've seen what's gone on there with people.
The thing about COVID-19, it hits everybody differently. Some people won't have any effects. Some people will feel tired. Some people have breathing problems, and that is the biggest problem: breathing problems. And really, I can't give any advice to anybody. But if you've not got symptoms, as in strong symptoms of COVID-19, where you can't breathe, then the chances are you're going to go in there and be monitored and, released after 2 or 3 weeks. If you've got your breathing problems, then you go in and they're going to have to put you on an oxygen machine just to keep your stats going. The teams know what they're doing. They're taking chances with people like myself. I mean, I had a big sticker on my door saying, "Beware COVID-19," which is unnerving for yourself, never mind for the nurses. And that's really only advice I can give. You've got to be strong. You've got to go in there with the right attitude. You haven't got to give up because of this little bug that's inside you. Your body's very good at fighting things, and that's what you got to do, yeah, I mean, it's all the people that I know. I mean, mum's friend, she's just died, 89. And they tested her and she had COVID-19, but she had no symptoms. She just died of old age. So it makes me wonder if everybody's not got this COVID-19 and it just becomes active in certain situations, a bit like arthritis.
Yeah. So how you getting on with the cancer then now? Have you got any treatment due, like chemo or radium treatment to have with your cancer, or are you okay on that front as well now, Tony?
I'm okay on that front as well. They've actually stated that because of the current situation, they were not going to start the chemo, because that obviously you've got to go into hospital for that. And the fact is that they reckon they got rid of the cancer. He would do a 6-month review on me, so that would be about Christmas time, when he called me back in for tests, where you probably have that radiation meal, which goes down there and attaches itself to, blood vessels and what have you. But till I get to that part of the time where I have these tests, so far I'm clear. But he stated that he thinks we're clear, but in 6 months we'll find out for definite,
Yeah. I'm just going to say hello to Steve Essex. Yeah, very nice to have you in, Steve, as well.
And John Drones and everybody else.
Yeah, it's we've got 7 in now, but I mean we have had up to 10, and it's nice to see people like Steve Crimson Fantasy and Steve Essex and Gail and Barry and John of Drones. Because I didn't really advertise this. It wasn't until the last minute that I thought we'd go live and I'd talk to Tony about his experience and show everybody that he's still alive.
I'm still alive.
Because at one time I was extremely worried about you, Tony, because I mean, I knew you'd been in hospital with your stomach cancer operation and that you'd had 2/3 of your stomach removed, and then to go back in hospital with COVID-19, and I didn't hear from you for about a week, I think it was. And the first time you phoned me up when you was in hospital, I couldn't understand the word you were saying because you couldn't breathe very good, and I thought the worst because
yes.
So did you feel the same?
I think a part of you is worried about when you're told you've got cancer is one of the biggest things that affects your life. And then you've got the COVID-19 on top of that. And, you know, when those two come together, you go into a depression if you're not careful. And in hospital, in hospital, the nurses are quite positive and help you out. And I do have a CPAP machine because they reckon I stop breathing when I'm asleep, you know, up to 30 times an hour. So the CPAP machine keeps you going. So whenever I was in hospital, I actually wear the mask and use that for breathing. And then when the doctors come to see me, they said, we'll come back in half an hour because we're not allowed to go and see you when you're using this machine. It's got to be half an hour afterwards. So obviously, when I'm breathing with this machine, it's the COVID that they're worrying about because it goes through the filters. And they were concerned. So, you know, but I don't think COVID-19 bothered me as much as cancer. Mainly because I didn't feel the effects of COVID-19. The cancer, I felt the effects of that because everything I ate hurt. You got acid flow constantly. You had no energy because the cancer was taking away all the iron out of your system. And, you know, that situation is worrying, you know.
Yeah, I'm just going to say hello to a friend of mine, Mike West. Welcome, Mike. He lives in Alton-le-Clay. Yeah, I often see him when the Northcotes flying meeting is. So
lots of laughs, Barry. He's living with cancer because it's his birth sign. But
yeah. That joke of the day from Barry's Views. That's what it is. He's been living with cat. Yeah, I like that one.
Yes.
And Steve, I just went through some bad stuff back in February. Also, Steve Essex has been through some bad stuff in there back in February. So I hope everything's all right now, Steve. So
well,
you know, it's nice to see you uploading again and doing things for our friend DJI Films. Dennis. Always look on the bright side, as they say, always look on the bright side of life. Isn't that a song, Tony?
Yes.
I wonder if I can get Barry up one night and he'll sing that to us.
He might do, you know.
Might do, yeah. So, how are you feeling now then, mate?
Yes. I mean, I think I'm nearly back to normal, to be honest with you. My scar has actually healed tremendously. I've got the energy now to go out. I have been driving and I do go for short walks. So on the whole, you know, like today I went out flying, you know, I went about 5 miles from the house and went flying. So, you know, I've got the energy, which I didn't have before. So maybe things are on the positive, but the surgeon said it's 6 months of repair internally. Externally, you're healed. And he says internally, you're not. So you've got to be careful.
God, look what Steve said. I had a heart attack, found out I also need a lung transplant, found out I have emphysema and diabetics. Wow, wait, Steve, you've been through the wars and you're still waiting then for a lung transplant. And because I think he lives in the States, Steve, don't you, Steve? I bet that's going to be. I hope you've got insurance for all that.
Blimey. That is quite a list, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So I wish you all the best then, Steve. And John of Drowns has said, wishing you and your family, glad you're still with us today. Yeah, but so am I, you know, because I mean, Steve Essex, you know, is a good friend, and I'm pleased Tony's still with us, especially to do a quick broadcast like this.
Yes, indeed. You know, I think if you let it get to you, if you let things get to you, then you'll go into a deep cavern where you just want to sleep all the time, etc. If you've got something like I do for flying drones and editing videos, etc., you got something to take your mind off that, then it's better. You know, like you, I'm in bed for 9 o'clock at night. Sleeping's supposed to be the best thing for repair. So, you know, that's good enough for me because I like sleeping. And if the repair goes on, that's fine. You know.
Yeah, same here. I'm nodding off all the time since with this lockdown that we've been through. You know, I mean, I just sit on this settee and
nod.
Fall asleep. Yeah, yeah. That's why I ain't been doing many live streams or anything. You know, but I'm trying to get things arranged now to get back into the live streaming world, because after watching Gail a few times and everything like that. Yeah, I miss it, talking to people, you know. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have to get Steve Essex, because I'd love to interview him and find out all about what he's been up to. I have to use oxygen. I hate that part. Yeah, well, Steve, would you consider an interview with Gramps here? In the next few days or in the next week? That's the whiskey laughs out loud. Oh, you seen what Barry's put in? It's not the lockdown, it's the whiskey. Well, Barry, I've gone on to the G&T's with a slice. I've had 2 today, this afternoon, because I've been sat out on the my balcony watching the birds and everything like that. And I thought to myself, it's warm, so I thought I might as well treat myself to a couple of glasses of G&T with a slice.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the weather was good today as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful now. The sun's just it's all in my eyes here. You know, I've got the curtains half closed. No, I'm not, Barry. I've got 5 bottles of whiskey in. I've got 3 bottles of gin in. I've got 2 bottles of brandy in. I've got 5 cans of John Smith's.
Alcoholic.
And I don't drink a lot. See, my mate who lives about 6 miles away, he can't climb up my stairs because he's 82, so he can't get up the stairs, because he says to me, "You've never opened those bottles of whiskies, have you? You've never had the tops off." And I went, "No, never had the tops off. They're there for if I have any visitors, like when Pixie used to come, and then I used to open a bottle. It's like my next door neighbour, he likes the brandy, so if I go next door, I take the brandy with me. But because of the lockdown, we haven't been able to get in, you know, and no milk in the fridge. No, I don't drink milk, Barry, in coffee or tea. So I do have a bit of milk in. I love whiskey, but can't drink anymore. Poor old Steve. Now, means that life's not worth living if you can't have a drink of whiskey, doesn't it? Do you drink, Tony?
Nope. Don't drink, don't smoke. And that's what confused the hospital. Why do I have cancer? But there you go.
Yeah, and that's something else I want to ask you, Tony. Then, have you lost any weight due to your stomach cancer operation and going through COVID-19 in hospital?
I believe I have, but I got to find the scales to prove it because they didn't weigh me in hospital. But yes, I can see me knees now, so my stomach's gone back. Before. So
yeah, I'll tell you what, I'd love to get rid of my stomach as well, you know.
And the girls, they call it liposuction. You know, I have to have a hernia to have my liposuction, but there you go. You know, it's the body is a marvelous machine, you know. But yeah, I think I have lost weight, and I think if I go back into hospital for my checkups, they'll be doing that. checkup.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Steve. I didn't know that you had a drinking problem for over 30 years. Well, so that's given me something else to talk about when I talk to you. If you will consent to having an interview with me, or discussion, not an interview, just a natter, because you're brilliant at what you do, and Barry's got COPD.
Yeah, my mum suffers from that. It's not good.
Well, so everybody's got illness. I'm the only one then. I must be...
you cough, Richard false teeth.
Yeah, but, I have this persistent cough, which I can never get rid of at all. I mean, I get it every year, and I'll tell you what, it's brilliant when I go out into a supermarket or I go shopping and I start coughing like that, and everybody clears the way.
It's like having a blue light and a siren.
Yeah. Random Life says she's healthy. Yeah, she is a very healthy woman. The only thing that Random Life's got is when she has Ginger Monster down. And always maintain. John had drowned. Yeah, that's so true. That John, that cancer patients I've known always maintain. They always do. Cool. Did you see what Steve's put down? I should have been over there in Chicago with him. I was drinking over a gallon of whiskey a week.
A week?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll wait until, just say yes or no to being interviewed by me, Steve. And I'd be amazed that he's alive, because I've never been a big drinker. I'm what you term, when I have friends round, then I'll have a drink, but I very rarely have a drink when I'm sat here on my own.
No. I have. That's my drink. Where is it?
Yeah. Hello, I can't pronounce your name.
Yotus.
Yeah. Hello. Nice to have you in it. Back up to 10. Well, and I didn't even advertise this, Tony, did we?
No, we just went on a random,
Yeah.
But I say it's a subject which people are interested in. And obviously there's a lot of people on here that have illnesses, and it's the faulty body, failing MOT.
Oh, we got Broad Drones in. Long time no see.
Yeah, where you been, Broad Drones?
Yeah, where you been? I've missed you. I have been watching when he puts something up,
Yeah. Yes. As I say, when I was talking to the ambulance drivers, they're saying it's never been so quiet. With me, they would transport me, but they're saying on a normal day, they were busy as anything, because people were calling up for hangnails and God knows what else. And because of this lockdown, people aren't ringing 999 all the time.
Yeah.
So, the ambulances have got an easier job over this period, because people don't want to go to hospital.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen the figures on that, I've not done much YouTube for a while now. Well, you should get back into it, Broad Drones. Sorry about that, interrupting you there, Tony. Very bad manners. I do, I should know that as a interviewer. Yeah, go on then, carry on.
Why they sent me home was because she says, look, you've obviously had this operation and you've had the COVID, and she says, hospital has got more bugs than anything else. So that's why I want to send you home. You're in the most infectious place you can possibly be, you know. And I said, fair enough then, I'll go home. She says, at least you'd be with your own bugs, you know. And that's the attitude of the hospital, you know. They'll support you at home. They said they would kick me out, but if I felt I needed to go back to hospital, I just got to give them a tinkle and they would take me back in, you know. But I haven't actually felt I need to go back to hospital, you know, apart from the nurses.
Well, Gail will be telling you then now, Tony, for that. You know, I mean, you've got to behave yourself when Gail's in, otherwise she'll. I'll get it all.
No, they were good nurses. Apart from every 2 hours at night, mate, they used to come in. Blood pressure. Oh, really?
Yeah. So John of Drowns heard about you in the live streams. Yeah. So nice to have you in, John. I'll check your channel out because I don't know whether I have supported you, but I will check it out after the live stream and have a look at your films because
believe it or not, we've been on 36 minutes for a short.
Yeah, for a short one. I was only going to stay on for about 10 minutes, won't we? We can't get into our hospital to do our radio show. Oh yeah, because Barry does the hospital radio show a couple of times a week, you know.
Thanks, John of Drones. I will try and track you down. But yes, it's always good to have people notice you. You know, I do my best to be noticed, but can't, you know, find a way of doing it at the minute. Still on 422, I think. So
yeah. So Random Life, do you want to come on for a few minutes and talk to us? If you do, say yes or no, and I will send you the link via Skype.
Via Skype. Skip your Skype.
I bet she'll say no, you know. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, lottery number.
She says no, you know. I wish she'd get a computer or a tablet, an Android tablet, and then she could invite people onto her live streams. And you know, because I reckon Random Life would get some excellent people to talk to, because you know, she knows a lot of people and she's very well respected in the tech community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, I do enjoy her tech talks, and okay, got to run now. Not literally going to give the NH the clap. Oh yeah, is it? Oh yeah, it's 8 o'clock. Near enough. It's
it is
8 minutes to 8. So thank you for coming in. Yes, because I've got to do my bit for the NHS as well. Thank you for reminding us, Barry. So thank you for doing this live stream with me, Tony, and telling us a bit about your experience with COVID-19 and your stomach cancer. And really pleased that you look as though you're on the mend. And I look forward to I look forward to seeing you sometime either here in Cleethorpes or up in your neck of the woods, because I mean, I was looking forward to going on the Farn Isle cruise again.
Yes.
Bye, Gail, and I will hopefully talk to you tomorrow before you go live streaming on your channel. Hopefully, because usually on a Friday night she goes live about 9. Yeah. So I really do appreciate everything. Oh, Brant Ariels is in. He's just come in. Keith, can you start over again, please? No. I wish I could, but I've got to do the clap for the NHS at 8 o'clock. And if I don't go out there, I'll get told off by my neighbours.
So that's on at 8 o'clock, is it?
Yeah. So sorry about that, Gary. You know, otherwise I would. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. And now getting back into it, you might see me a bit more, doing a few more live streams. So I'm going to say thank you very much again, Tony, for joining us.
No problem.
And all those who came into the chat, really appreciate your support, and hope to see you again. And I will check your channel out, John of Drones, and hit the like. Thank you very much, Gary, for saying that. And we'll see you all soon rather than later. So bye, everybody.
Cheers.